day 23 and chapter 23. And this is the wrap-up chapter. This is where all the blanks get filled in. So they end up back at Jennifer Lane's house at Cedar Park, and everybody's just kind of chit-chatting around and filling in the little missing parts. Well, they're doing it in a conversational way. It's filling in for us, not filling it in for them. Because then, well, hold on, we'll get there. So we have that little bit about talking about spankleitis, because they've officially coined an itis for it. And then how rare it is, and now they're going to have to make trips to the North Pole. And Nico's already got in his head that he's moving to Cedar Park to live with Joe, wherever they choose to live. And of course, let's see, it's Tomascu is like, no. Again, Boss Elf, he's like, nope. We already have the North Pole sleigh. The North Pole sleigh. What are the names of the other sleighs? Because clearly that means there's other sleighs. That means there's other sleighs. And they have other names. So the North Pole sleigh is here, and he's got to get his butt on it and back to work. He has officially taken the job back, so that's good. So then we have both the Boss Elf and Joe saying, yeah, no, I'm totally cool with living in the North Pole. And, well, dude, you have a job in the North Pole, so you need to be there. But she needs to be there periodically for her treatments. So that was an interesting conversation. Then it was interesting that Jennifer is still uncertain about David, and her little kind of off the cuff comment of what did she say? Page 344. Page 344. Oop, I turned the page too far. Because I wanted to talk about the Nico thing. But we'll start with the 344. So that's where he says, or she says, I can't get used to this nice guy bit. And he says, it's nothing, ma'am. I am reborn thanks to my best friend, Santa Claus. Very interesting phrasing there. So, the thing that I also wanted to touch on was this part about Juniper getting a little bit kind of in trouble for putting Santa in the sack, Nico in the sack. And then she was like, but he saw Sarika there. And he was like, Thomas Q was like, yeah, sort of, but not really. It wasn't her that he saw. It was just his own fabrication based on his memories, and that was just helping him do what he already knew he needed to do or wanted to do. He just needed to hear it a different way, or from someone he trusted. I don't have that one highlighted, but I thought that was an interesting little part there. Then we get to our boss elf, the North Pole boss, Thomas Q, saying he's laying down the law. Juniper needs training in the North Pole immediately. Of course, Jennifer's not down with the whole immediate thing. I don't think Juniper really would be either, because she just got her mom back. It's only been a few days, but that was a few very, very difficult days. And, again, on top of the fact that she's already lost her father. So, this is pretty tragic for her. So she's not ready to head to the North Pole yet for training independently of her mom. And she's still a kid too. But I thought it was interesting. It was like the next generation Santa. Let's see. Oh, and about the two elves who are having to scrub the internet because of her joyriding with Skara. So that was another interesting part. So then we go to 346. 346. And that is when they're having a discussion about, what's coming up, what's happening. So Mom says, we need to continue Nico's work and Briar's From now on, this park becomes a haven for people in need. Agreed? Agreed, Mum, says Juniper. Does that mean I'm not going to the North Pole? See, she kind of wants to go, but at the same time, she kind of doesn't. Over my... began Jennifer, then switched to a gentler phrase. Not right now. Junie, let's at least get you through school. It will take me that long to process everything. And let me tell you something. If you're going anywhere before the age of 100, then I'm coming with you. I totally get that as a mom. Yep. So, that brings us to the technical end of the story. Okay, in the last line, or the last 2 lines, then they hugged and cried for a full minute until Jennifer realized that there was not, in fact, any cherry cake in the tin, and that set her off crying again. She's going to be doing a lot of crying for some days. I wonder what Juniper's going to think about this whole crazy tale about her deciding she was going to go change her looks and changing her clothes and then getting the henna tattoos. Like, at least they're not permanent. And you know, just this adventure and how she was going to go here and then gets hit in the head and then dragged all over the place and parked here and parked there and finally parked at the hospital, and how she ended up seeing Juniper, Nico, and Duchess, but because her voice was lost, she couldn't say anything. I wonder how Juniper is going to handle that story, because that is a wild... it's almost more wild than the actual story of meeting Nico and becoming apprentice Santa. So there are no questions further for today. Tomorrow is the epilogues, all 4 of them. That's why it's 24 for the Advent, because we have 4 epilogues. So we are on to that tomorrow, and I will see you then. And oh, don't forget, there is a second book. You can read it, and you don't have to read it only during Christmas just because it is a Christmas story. You know, we do have that thing called Christmas in July, so that means you can have Christmas anytime you want. And I think that is part of the messaging in this story, is that you can have Christmas any time of the year you want. So I will see you all tomorrow.